Pretty sure there's nothing that can be said about Michelangelo's David that you don't already know or that hasn't already been said before. David is a masterpiece of the Italian Renaissance sculpture done by the great Michelangelo, created from 1501 to 1504. It was a height of 5.17 meters and was the first colossal marble statue created in the early modern period following classical antiquity. It was originally commissioned to be part of a roofline of the Florence Cathedral, the Duomo di Firenze, but instead was placed in the public square in front of the Palazzo della Signora because it was just so beautiful. They couldn't stand to put it up on top of a building, which is why, according to our instructors, fun fact, his hands and feet are so large because that would make them look more proportionate from a distance. So the biblical figure of David was a favorite subject in the art of Florence. You see lots of Davids. This one is arguably the best and most well-known and well-represented. It is one of Michelangelo's best-known works. Nobody can see the statue of David without immediately knowing what it is. It's even caused some, of course, recent controversy with being shown to children, which is really funny to me. If you've spent any time in Europe, Italy, and Vienna in particular, like we have, there are naked statues literally everywhere, and all ages would be exposed to them. So the fact that in America, someone got all up in their dithers about it just is really funny to me. And it's probably funny to the Europeans too. But so David is exquisite, made from a single block of marble that it is said that Michelangelo did not carve David from, but freed David from, I believe is what that saying goes. Like he was told, and I've heard this from a lot of sculptors, right? Like they look at a piece of clay or a marble and it tells them what they want to be. So they're not creating the object, they're freeing the object from its prison, its lump, and giving it its form and its final embodiment, which I think is really beautiful, and I can understand that in art. I feel like that's how inspiration works in art, and it completely makes sense to me. Apparently around the mid-1800s, small cracks were noticed on the left leg of David, which can possibly be attributed to uneven sinking in the ground around the statue. And so they removed it from the piazza to protect it from damage, and it's now displayed in the Accademia Gallery, which is where we saw it in Florence. And there are many replicas, especially the one placed in there is a replica placed in the Piazza della Signora in 1910 to replace the original, which needed to be protected and brought inside. What more can I say? It was exquisite. You do feel like you're being followed. The detail is amazing, and it's like a living statue. He could come alive. You wonder, what he was thinking when he created, those eyes really do seem, his gaze does seem to be following you. This particular statue is done prior to his battle with Goliath, I believe. Whereas the other one is the other, Caravaggio one, I believe, is after. But the twist of his body is contrapposto, standing with most of his weight on his right foot, his other leg forward, which is supposed to convey, a sense of potential energy, he's about to move. Hence, he's about to attack the Goliath, the giant. Not much else to be said about David for me. I mean, I obviously think it's a beautiful statue. The work is amazing. It's so familiar that I didn't put it in one of my main videos because I honestly wasn't as awe-inspired by this statue as I was some of the other statues that I saw just living their best life out in the piazzas in Italy. And it's probably blasphemy to say such a thing about such a famous statue, but um, it's amazing, and I suppose it's like the forefather to amazing art. But after having been so immersed in the art world, I feel like David is wonderful, but not more wonderful than a lot of the other stuff I saw. So here's David. You can't not mention him. Then again, he's like wasn't my most exciting thing when I saw in Europe, but it is beautiful. I'm not arguing that.